Continuing the Hazzarah, Siman Kuf Aleph. Chaticha Roy L'Skabit. Says the Mechaber, Chaticha Roy L'Skabit, Dina Kiberia. Chaticha Roy L'Skabit, a piece, anything that's Roy L'Skabit from the Orchim, you give it to guest. Dina Kiberia, the Afilu of Elef Labitela, it's not bottled even in 1,000. Afilu Imhi Asura Bahana. Even though it's also ba'ana, so now it becomes any royal l'schabit, because it's also ba'ana. Kimich of this battle, hoishim uteres, the royal l'schabit, since if it become bottle, it would be royal l'schabit, because it become bottle, and all the mutter, still, it's not bottle. Says the Ramah, even though it's only an issa b'derabanan, eina b'tela, it's not bottle. Now the African issa deraisa, even issa derabanan is not bottle if it's a chaticha roy l'skabed. V'imus suffix imhi roy l'skabed oiloi. If it's a suffix, if it is roy l'skabed, we had to say this before. It's a suffix if it's a berry or not. Then as lina l'kula, we go l'kula. Afilu hi asura midaraisa. Even if it's an issa deraisa, but it's a suffix if it's a chaticha roy l'skabed, we go l'kula, like we said before by barrier. That's called a suffix d'Rabbanan. The reason why it's not bottled is because it's a chaticha roy l'skabed. A suffix, if it's a chaticha roy l'skabed, the suffix d'Rabbanan, even though it's an issa d'oraisa. Masha'en kain, if it is a vadai chaticha roy l'skabed, but it's a suffix isser, and now we say it's not called a suffix d'Rabbanan. Same thing we had before in Beria.
Right. What if it's a suffix issue d'Rabbanan?
Oh, so look in the Shach Sivkot base. The imhu suffix the chticha roy the skabit bottle beroyim with d'Rabbanan the suffix d'Rabbanan hakol. The dafka suffix imhu chticha roy the skabit. The imhu vadai chticha roy the skabit. If it's for sure chticha roy the skabit, the suffix imhu aser loy bottle. The suffix if it's also not bottle, and the Shach doesn't say the Rabbanan, the Eraisa. So the suffix if it's also, it is loy bottle. So the Shach doesn't say if it's the Rabbanan, the Eraisa. The Tas speaks it out. Yeah, look at the Tas Sivkot Aleph. Ayin Semicha Beisif Aleph Kasafti Da Filu B'Sofik Issa D'Rabbanan. Right, the Sofik Issa D'Rabbanan, if it's a Chaticha Roy L'Skabit, Yesh Chumra B'Davar Shesh L'Vatinim Dafko V'Loi B'Shad Dvarim She'enim Ispatlin. So we have here three different dargas. You have something that's a Sofik if it's a Chaticha Roy L'Skabit or not. There, even by Issa D'Oraisa, it's mutter, because it's called Sofik D'Rabbanan. If it's a vada chaticha roy l'skabit, so if it's a suffix, it's a darai. If it's a suffix, it's a darai. So we go l'chumra. If it's a suffix, it's a derabanan. By everything else, we go l'chula. But by yesh matirim, we go l'chumra. Like the Tas says over there, we'll see soon, is because by yesh matirim, we never say mechan shveik is derabanan because it's weight. It become mutter. Why not wait? Only by other isurim, when it won't be a heter at all, that's suffix derabanan l'chula. Fransiv Beis. Ein ladin chaticha roy l'skabed elam kein isur machmas atzma. Chaticha roy l'skabed is only if the isur is the chaticha itself. We're going to vela, or basa b'chalav. Basa b'chalav, it becomes an isur atzmi. Everyone agrees that basa b'chalav is sechanan. Avlam nesa machmas akibla tam isur v'lahaya ba samach levatloi. If it became a chaticha became aser because no samach in the chaticha levatal the issa that came into the chaticha. Afil misha sover chaticha at v'nasas levela ein la din chaticha roy l'skabed. And I spoke out a few times. The whole din of a chanan is only the shiurim. If you have an issa that goes into a chaticha, there's no shishim in the chaticha levatal, so the piece of meat becomes aser. Whatever it is, that piece becomes aser. If it falls into another pot, if you hold up chanan, and it's shishu kenega that whole piece. But chanan doesn't say that the piece of meat itself really is isser in itself. The lishisha levatul the piece of meat, but the chaticha itself is not called isser. It's only b'negei shiurim. Therefore, over here we're going to say, what's the isser over here? The blius in the piece. The blius in the piece aren't chaticha roya that's covered. If you look in the shach, you've cut and dalid. Ela din chaticha roya that's covered. Tam kosvar shayadura. Sirim alav arav arav shapayis k'mishum. The mekamokam ein isser ha-nivla b'ach kosvar chaticha roya that's covered. The isser that's nivla is not considered roya that's covered. I say chanan that's only for a shear. But she'enke b'bosa b'chol is not that way. If you have milk that goes into a piece of meat, the piece of meat itself is an isser also. Therefore, if the piece of meat is chaticha roya that's covered, when there's milk inside, by b'bosa b'chol we say it's a chaticha roya that's covered. It's not bottle. That's the chiluk between b'lius isser and b'bosa b'chol.
We were saying the whole time that there's a big machlok of shach and taz in that last point.
Right, but that last point is only in the b'bosa b'chol if you end up taking the milk out, if the b'bosa stays also.
Right.
But while the milk is in the b'bosa, even the taz is maskim that the b'bosa is an isser atzma.
Okay.
Right? Only when it's separated, the taz and the shach have machlokes, and now does the b'bosa become mutter or not. But while the cholav is in the b'bosa, even the taz agrees that it is an isser atzma. Says the Ramah, afilu chaticha, shaloi nimlecha, even a piece of meat that wasn't salted, betela. The ein isur machmas atzma, the piece of meat is also because of itself, rak machmas dam habalua ba, only because of the dam that's inside of it. Kol chaticha, shaloi nes rak gedei klipa, betela. A chaticha that became also gedei klipa, is bottled the rak klipa, any royalist chabed. The klipa is not royalist chabed, the whole chaticha is royalist chabed. The klipa itself is not royalist chabed. And the shach brings down the kash over here at Sivka and Vov. Kol chaticha shalanes rakadei klipa kula. Sorry, kosta b'sefer lachem chamudois v'zel l'shaynoi v'tzarchiyin. Timhecha neser kadei klipa kima like shekibla tam isim b'davar acher. V'im ken afilu kushanesra kula ad kam l'shaynoi. The lachem chamudois says the kasha. How do you have an isser klipa? It must be, it was beleya from a different isser. So anyway, what are you saying? Because it's only a klipa. Anyway, it's not a chaticha roya l'skaba, because the only way the klipa became also is because it has belius from a different isser. We're just saying that if it has belius from an isser, it's not called chaticha roya l'skaba. So what have to come out to the fact that it's only a klipa?
We saw that. What about the case of what if you had belia of basar b'chalav only up to a klipa?
So like kasha midi, the mishkach haslav of basar b'chalav.
Okay.
So the shach answers that you have it by basar b'chalav. Basar b'chalav could they klipa, now it's an atzmoi. So there the chiddush is that's not called chaticha roya l'skab because only the klipa is also not the whole chaticha.
But isn't that itself a machlokes whether that's just or atzmoi?
But basar b'chalav?
Yeah, but that's how you got. If you have a that's how you got to take klipa. That's going to be that's going to be an isser machmas atzmoi.
Yeah, why not? Basar b'chalav?
Basar b'chalav, that's only possible way.
Basar b'chalav, everyone agrees it's machmas atzmai.
Okay.
Even according to the Taz, like I spoke about before. The machlokes is only separated.
Oh, so I'm getting this mixed up. Okay.
Well, while it's together, everyone agrees it's an atzmai.
Yeah, that's possible.
Everyone agrees it's an atzmai. The question only wants to separate it. Fine, so that's the mechaber and the Ramah. The Taz here.
And to make it usher k'dei klipa is through Eroi or something like that.
Yeah, that's how you go on.
That's how you go.
Right.
Yeah. Fine, so anything that's not an Isser Atzmoi is, we don't say Chaticha Roya L'Skabed because the Isser is only the blius inside of it. And even though we say Chanan the Chaticha, the Klal as Chanan does not make an Isser Atzmoi, it's only they need Shishim Connector. Now the Taz goes through over here, the halacha of Gvinos. We'll take out parts of the Taz over here. Let's start the beginning of the Taz. Machmas Kibla Tab. The ain't Habalua Royal Eschabed. Taz says also the blius is not Royal Eschabed, therefore you don't say Chaticha Royal Eschabed on the blius when it's a Balua. Mekayach Zek Kosa Bedak Marshal Tar Chatas Klam Mem the Gvino Shahum the Bechalav Treifa Gvino that was made into Gvino through Chalav Treifa. So Chalav Treifa is also to eat. It's arava do have a chaticha roya l'skabed she'isir ba belua who you have here gvina, cheese, kosher cheese that was humad, who was made into cheese through with chalav treifa. You can make cheese through with milk. So you take that milk and you put it into the other milk and you make it into cheese. So that chalav treifa was maimed the gvina. Still, the Torah's Chata says that it's not a chaticha roya l'skabed. It's bottle b'roiv. You can't eat that piece, of course not, because it's a maimed that never becomes bottle. So that piece is also. But if that piece of cheese gets mixed up with other pieces of cheese, the halacha is it's mutter. Why? Because the chalav treifa is only of isser belua. It's not an isser atzmai.
Even though normally we would say that our mamid is not bottle.
It's not bottle, so a piece of cheese is also. Piece of cheese is also.
You made one piece of cheese and you mixed it up with other pieces of cheese.
Right, now that piece of cheese got mixed up with other pieces of cheese. So that piece of cheese is not a chaticha roya l'skabed. A full bell for the bottle.
Right.
But the fact that the cheese is also is because it's a maimid, even if it's less than shishim, it's also because of maimid afers.
Right.
But it's different if it's going to be the maimid or if it's going to be the milk.
That's right.
What do you mean the milk?
What's the case?
The cheese itself, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. The cheese itself, we'll see in a second. The cheese itself is made out of chalav shreifa, and it's a chaticha roya l'skabed. So now the whole piece is a chaticha roya. That is a belua.
Right.
Here, the milk that was made into cheese was kosher milk. The maimed was chalav treifa. So all we have here is an issa belua in the cheese. So there, the Torah's Chata says it's mutter, it's bottle. It's bottle b'roiv. That piece of cheese that's mixed up with other pieces of cheese, it's bottle b'roiv because it's not chaticha roya l'skabed. But like the issa v'het to the aruch, klach of hey then hey, shehichmed gam b'gvina zu mitam d'havak noel b'isser. This Semicha says it's called noiled b'isser, and the whole piece of meat, the whole piece of cheese is it's considered isser atzmai, and therefore it's not bottle. The Torah's Chata argues in that, and the Taz goes through and he argues on the isser v'heter, and he passes on Torah's Chatas. Now let's skip a little bit. If you look in the Taz weiter by Vershal Kosav, Per Kolabasa Simam Ches, you see it? In the Osher Chanarach, it's like almost halfway down.
What's the last word?
The last one on the line is Vizeh.
Yeah.
Vershal Kosav. You have it in the...
It's the medium-sized lines. Good.
Yeah.
The third word on the line.
Vershal Kosav Per Kolabasa Simam Ches. Vizeh Lashon HaMordechai V'Shem Ben Shimshon Ben Abed Mi Yadei Gvinas Chashuvas K'Chaticha Roya L'Skabed. Our Gvinas are all considered Roya L'Skabed. V'li Nira Devada Ein Sham Chaticha Roya L'Skabed. Noifel Ala Gvinos. Why? This is all the Marshal. Im Hilacha Ein Chashuva. If it's Gvina Lacha, it's not Davar Chashuv. V'af Yevesha Shechashuva B'Zmanenu, even cheese, dry cheese, whatever there was chashuv. V'chamakam ein chashuva kol kach le'echa bok dei svia. You don't eat the whole piece, you eat only a little bit. Shehi kosher leguf. U'befrat me'achar shcham b'nei adam en oichel l'naisa afilai de'at chak ad kan l'shoinoi. So this is the mashal. The mashal says, if you have a piece of cheese that's awesome, now obviously we're talking about a piece of cheese that was made out of chalav treifa. Because there's only a maimid through chalav treifa. The Tazah said it's not chaticha roya l'skabed. Right, it's a belua. So now we're talking about a piece of cheese. The whole piece of cheese was made through chalav treifa. Still, what?
Gvina goy.
Not gvinas goy. No, not gvinas goy. No, gvinas goy. We'll see in a second.
Okay.
It's chalav treifa.
Okay.
Chalav treifa.
Milk was treif.
The milk was treif.
Okay.
It can't be a non-kosher animal. Milk from a non-kosher animal does not become cheese.
Right.
It's impossible to become cheese.
Milk is different from a treifa.
Right. From a treifa means that the animal is a kosher animal, a cow, but it was a treifa, and it was a torif. So halacha is that cheese was made from chalav treifa. The Mashal says even if the whole cheese was made out of chalav treifa, a piece of cheese is not called chaticha roya l'skabed. Period. If it's lacha, it's not. If it's a vesha, you don't eat the whole thing. It's not called chaticha roya l'skabed. V'loy nirol in his daiti dvarov says it has. Tamina meperik of leather the mila gvina full of basem amali. It's good. V'chein kosam Taris Abayis Aruch the Gvina of Royal Eschabed. U'mekom says the Taz. It's very important. Dafka Sham Tav Iser Machmas Atzmai. Why? Then it's arav Sham Cholav Behemot Shreifa. Have a Belua Royal Eschabed. Have a Gvina Belua Me Isish as a Chan V'chayk Shahumet V'chalav Shreifel El. Different Taris Chatas D'Choyim Blam Chaticha Royal Eschabed. So the Taz specifies over here that the whole time that it's a shaila of Chaticha Royal Eschabed is only when it's Cholav Shreifer in the milk itself. In the milk itself is a Cholav Shreifer. But if it's only Humat through Cholav Shreifer, it's not Chaticha Royal Eschabed because it's called an Isser Belua. Then he says...
Can I just clarify something?
Yeah.
Treifa is a nevela considered a treifa?
No.
It's not a gay nevela. It's a dead animal. It's the Cholav is not Cholav.
Right. But in general, when we talk about treifa, is it one that has like a hole in the lung?
That's a treifa.
Right, but nevela is nevela considered a treifa?
That animal.
No, nevela is an animal that dies. A treifa is an animal that was shechted improperly, or was shechted properly and it has a hole in the lung. Yeah, there's something nevela and a treifa.
If it was shafted with like a bad knife too, that's also translation, no?
That could be called a nevela.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but what the shechted correctly.
It started off as kosher animal.
Yeah.
Yes.
The milk is for a kosher animal, so it can become milk. It can become cheese, I mean. But it's a treifa, and therefore it's non-kosher. The milk is not kosher. So that is the two things. First of all, if you have cholav treifa that was used to be maimed, the Taz says it's not a royal eschabed. And if you use cholav treifa to make the cheese itself, that the Mishel holds it's never chaticha royal eschabed cheese, and the Taz argues. Now the Taz goes into how about gvinis akum. So he says over here. Takasar Torah Shema Kuftas Vav Betam Isser Gvinish Levet Lechavim Shema Irva Ba Chalav Tamei Apple Pisha ain't Chalav Tamei Nikva, even though Chalav Tamei cannot become cheese. Right? So what's the Isser? There's a problem. The child, what's the Isser of Gvinish Akum? What are you worried about? What are you worried about Gvinish Akum?
The first is that maybe some non-kosher milk got mixed in.
So non-kosher milk. So get that. So if it's non-kosher milk that got mixed into the cheese, into the milk, and nothing to worry about because it wouldn't become cheese.
Right.
So when you have cheese, you know for sure it's kosher milk. Right? Now, on cheese, there's no din chalav Yisrael. That means if you take milk from an animal that was not chalav Yisrael, you make it into cheese, it's kosher. It's fine because you know for sure it's kosher. So if you have chalav that's not chalav Yisrael and you make it into cheese, now it becomes mutter. The cheese is, even though you're not chalav Yisrael, the cheese is fine. Because
so hold on. Wait a minute. So the fact that you pay twice as much for chalav Yisrael cheese, is there really no such thing? They're always saying.
Correct.
Good to know.
No, but chalav Yisrael cheese, we see chalav Yisrael cheese. It's a gezerah.
Why are you worried about an orakeva or mine?
Oh, so 1 second. There's a hechsher. We're saying there's a hechsher. That means in order to make cheese, Gvinis Akum is also.
No, I'm not.
Gvinis Akum is also. So you're not allowed to buy cheese from a guy. Right. You have to have a hechsher. But we're talking about you bought the cheese from it's a kosher company.
Right.
But there's a hechsher on it.
Right.
So you know there's no arcava there. You know it was used kosher ingredients. The question is who milked the cow originally. When it says chalav Yisrael on cheese, that means that the cow was originally milked by Yisrael. You don't need that for cheese.
Right.
You don't need that for
cheese.
cheese.
Have a question of cheese, no.
You can't come from a right. But you still need a hechsher.
Yeah, you still need a hechsher.
Yeah. There's a chance that there's no until the Gemara comes out with that.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you could use the cheese from a guy, even though you have no idea who milked it.
Sure you can.
At the whole Gemara there, before ask for Gvinis Akum.
Right, because before the it doesn't come from an animal.
Right, you know for sure it comes from a kosher animal.
Then the Gemara comes out and says orakeva is still going to be a problem, right?
Orakeva, yeah, because you don't know, because the guy could have used orakeva. Yeah, that's
Yisrael issue. That's
a treifus issue. That's a treifus issue. That's chalav Yisrael.
So why do they have it then?
That's a good question.
Charge $8 more.
No, there's a good question why they have it. The question what's like part of chalav Yisrael milk? Chalav Yisrael cheese.
Right.
Yeah, there's a question about that. but it could be.
No, we're on tape.
We've been taped.
So the Taz goes through now. What's halacha with Gvinas Akum? If you have Gvinas Akum, they got mixed up with other cheese.
Right.
Is it also or is it mutter? Is the chticha royal skabed or not? So says the Taz. If you, the whole time of Isra Gvinas Akum Shema, Iru by Chalav Tamei, Alpish Ein Chalav Tamei Nikva Chashin Shema Yishon Venu Ma'at Bein Nekvera Ad Chal Shoynai. You're worried that even after you made the cheese, so the kosher milk became cheese, but maybe there's some non-kosher milk that was mixed in that stayed as hanging around in the kver, in the cracks of the cheese. That's non-kosher milk. That's why Gvinas Akum was also, because maybe there was non-kosher milk mixed in, even though that non-kosher milk didn't become cheese, but it's still hanging around bein the kver.
But wouldn't you call it just tam balua?
Oh, v'zeh pashut she'ein shaykh wa'is echalav she'bein the kavim ro'el eschabed. Kivin she'en gufa gvinas is a man, no mash enkem etrubas chalav treifa. Says the Taz, Gvinas Akum, there's no problem of chaticha ro'el eschabed. Why? Because what are you worried about? Only the little bit of chalav that's maybe non-kosher chalav, non-kosher milk that's hanging around there. You don't have to worry about that because that's not royal eschabed. Now, but this is only that we know that it was not used for a treifa. So the Taz says there's no problem of Gvinas Akum or chaticha royal eschabed. But he says at the end, Ochein, in the Shulchan Aruch, it's the last line of this page, a few words before the end. It's like a couple of lines, 2 or 3 lines probably before the end of the Taz. Ochein, tam echad chashiv sham shamid nasa be'or kevas nevela. You have that?
Yeah.
So it said like that. Ochein, tam echad chashiv sham shamid nasa be'or kevas nevela. Maybe they're being maimed be'or kevas nevela. So if that's the case, so that's chticha royal eschabed. The koyach zeh yesh la din ha royal eschabed. Ki iser basa v'chalav yesh kan. You have an iser basa v'chalav. Iser basa v'chalav is already iser atzmoi. So if it was humad b'nevela, you may have a problem. Hakem v'mokim she'yidua she'ema midim v'or kevas behemus v'ovet k'chavim. They have a chticha royal eschabed kein nil finis dati. Says the Taz, Gvinas Akum, it depends. If you know for sure it wasn't humad, with a kevas nevela, then you're okay. Because what do you worry about? The challah, which is in between the cracks, it's not a problem. So there's 2 problems here with the Taz. First of all, when the Taz says that you're worried about only the challah and the cracks, and therefore it's not called chticha royal eschabed, says the Shach and the Kudus Kesem argues, and he holds no. Gvinas Akum is an issa by itself.
Why?
How do you look at Gvinas Akum? You look at the reason why it's aser. Once Chazal said Gvinas Akum is aser, that's an issa atzmon. Who cares what the reason why they asked it? Today Gvinas Akum is an issa d'Rabbanan, period. So the Gvina now is a chticha royal eschabed, it's aser.
What are we saying? Even if you know that it was kosher, made without an orakeva, Gvinas Akum is still going to be aser.
Right, it's still aser. Why? Because of the chalav.
Because of the gzeira.
Why? Because maybe
there is nothing there. There's no iser.
No, there is iser. No, there may be a chalav tamei in the cracks. There's 2 reasons why Gvinas Akum can be aser. Either because our kevas nevela, or because there's some chalav left over in the cracks. Right, so you have a Gvinas Akum in front of you.
Right.
Says the Taz, you know for sure I didn't use our keva to make a cheese. What are you worried about? Only the chalav in the cracks.
But that's not enough to make a whole block of cheese, no? That would be...
No, but the reason why you can't eat it, Gvinas Akum, is because maybe there's some chalav tamei in the cracks. So you can now eat Gvinas Akum and not allowed to eat. Everyone agrees today now that it's Gvinas Akum.
Can you wash that off?
You can't, let's say, it's inside. Today's cheeses, I know how they make them. Today's cheeses, I don't know if it's cheesy, but whatever it is.
They don't take off klipa, or whatever?
No, inside.
Oh, inside.
Even inside the cheese. Real cheese has like pockets inside of it.
Okay.
In those little pockets, maybe there's some chalav that's tamei. That's why you can't eat Gvinas Akum. Says the Taz, if that piece of cheese, the Gvinas Akum, are mixed up with kosher cheese, it's not a chaticha royal eschabed, and it's mutter. Why? Because all you're worried about is the little chalav which is hanging around inside. That's not royal eschabed. Says the Shach, Gvinas Akum itself is also. Forget about the reason why. The Chazal asked Gvinas Akum. So now that cheese is a chaticha royal eschabed. Why are you looking at the reasoning behind why Gvinas Akum is also? Gvinas akum by itself is also, that piece of cheese is an Isser Atzmai now. You're not allowed to eat it. Forget about the reasoning. The Chazal said you can't eat it. If that's the case, it's a Chaticha Royal Eskabed. So Shach argues right away on the basis of the Taz that says that Gvina is not called the Chaticha Royal Eskabed. If you look in the Shach and the Kudus Kesef,
but you see that by unsalted meat, right, is for 3 days. The unsalted meat, it's still usher, but we still would say that because of the, we still do look at the Yisr.
No, because the Chazal didn't say a piece of meat is usher. The dam is usher. You can't get it out. Like Gvinas Akum, they said the Gvinas Akum is usher. Period.
What about Bishal Akum? Would that be the same idea?
Same thing.
If you had like a piece of Chaticha Rulis Kaved.
Yeah, it's not Bishal Akum.
Sure, but it was Bishal Akum. So
yeah,
then
that piece is usher.
That piece is usher.
And it's Chaticha Royal Eskabed. Yeah. Anything Chazal after the Shach becomes it's a Machmas Atzma. And therefore it stays usher. It's called the Chaticha Royal Eskabed. If you look in the Shach, in the Kudus HaKesef, in the Old Shulchan Aruch, the Lamed Beis, it's like halfway down, after parentheses, V'gam came b'tshuvas Maimon Simikuk. It says, V'afilu gvina shehumda b'keva hanesa mebasa b'chalav. You see it?
Third last page Mendala, third last line on the right side.
You see it?
Yep.
Right after parentheses. The Shach argues on the Taz. He says, Afilu gvina shehumda b'keva hanesa mebasa b'chalav chashav chticha v'leschabed v'tad b'asa b'chalav havanami issa b'gufa. Come on. V'afilu stam gvina yishloy v'tchavim af api she'ein isuroi ela al yedei b'liya. Because of the chol of Tameh, it's mixed inside of it. Shema me'aka she'asu chachamim af kol stam gvinais machmas chashash isher sheyesh b'miktsasam v'gam tchilas asiyotzim hava yedei isher hava k'noilad b'surai ad kal l'shaynoi. Says the Shach, gvinas akim be'asert, therefore it stays asert. It's called the Isser Machmas Atzmai. Noilad b'surai means Isser Machmas Atzmai. The Shach argues on the Taz. Now, the second thing the Taz says, that if you're worried about Kevas Mevela, that was Maimon it,
that's not Chaticha Royal Eskabed.
Then the Taz says, that's what we call Chaticha Royal Eskabed. Why? Because the Isser Basa B'chalav Yeshkan. Right? That's what the Taz says. What does it mean? That means if you Maimon Mevela, Isser Basa B'chalav is an Isser Atzmai. So here have an Isser Atzmai. The problem with the Taz is, it's not like we learned in Simon Pei Zayin. In Simon Pei Zayin we learned, do a quick Hazzarah, if you take Kevus Nevela and you maimed milk, the halacha is, it stays also. Because the maimed is an Isser and maimed is never butter. If you maimed milk with meat, kosher meat, the halacha is, you need shishim. Why? Because you never had Isser here. Basa b'chalav, the maimed is only if the maimed is already an Isser and it's maimed cheese, the halacha is that it stays also, never becomes bottle. But if you have meat, kosher meat, the maimed with that chalav, you have to have shishim. Why? Because it never became basa b'chalav.
You don't have shishim.
Huh?
You must be talking about where you don't have shishim.
Yeah, but he doesn't say that. Usually when by maimed you don't have you have less than shishim. Usually you have shishim. So Kiva Ega's kasha, all the Chayim asks kasha on the Taz. So look at Kiva Ega and Tasif Khan Dalit. Ki Issa Basa B'chalav Yeshkan Kasha Li. You see it? See the Kiva Ega?
Oh yeah.
Ki Issa Basa B'chalav Yeshkan Kasha Li Hala El Seif Sim Pei Zayim avoid the Maimed Ba'or Kevas Kshera Im Yesh Samach B'chalav Mutter Hareish HaYidei Maimed Lo Nasa Basa B'chalav. Doesn't become Basa B'chalav only if you don't have shishim. But usually through a maimed, there is shishim connected to the maimed. They came with maimed v'or nevela sur akrashim nevela. V'shuv lehav v'isem machmas atzmoi. It's not isem machmas atzmoi. So all Achayim asks kasha on the Taz. So even if you maimed v'or kevus nevela, it also won't be chaticha royal eskabed. This is the Taz Shutasai. It will not be a chaticha royal eskabed. Taz Shutasai because or Keves Nevela is a maimed, but it's not Isser Atzmoi. You're going back to the beginning of the Taz, that if it's not Isser Machmas Atzmoi, it's not called, it's called an Isser Belua, and it's mutter. The Taz is trying to say that it becomes Basar B'chalav, so therefore it's Isser Atzmoi. But Basar B'chalav can't become. Because in order for it to become an Issa Basar B'chalav, you have to have less than Shishim. By Maimid, you always have Shishim connected to Maimid.
So he's Mekel in all the cases, the Taz, in terms of Minisachim?
No, the Taz is Machmir by Kevis Nevela. The question is why? He says it's because Basar B'chalav is Issa Atzmoy. The question is not Basar B'chalav. Because the Shishim connected to Maimid, it's not Basar B'chalav. The only Issa is an Issa Nevela. Issa Nevela is not a Issa Belua. It's not Issa Atzmoy now. If you use Nevela to remind me something, it's not Issa Atzmoy. Only when the Basar B'chalav becomes an Issa Atzmoy. And the Issa Basar B'chalav you don't have over here. Because the Issa Basar B'chalav is only when you don't have Shishim. That's the Kiregas Kasha. But according to the Shach anyway it's Asa. Because every Gvin is Asa. Every Gvin is Asa is Issa Atzmoy. Sif Gimel. Tanagolas min etzaisa shnes arba ba'acheros to Tanagolas with its feathers that got mixed together with other pieces. B'teila its bottles are anywhere that's chavlas ne'archa k'moy shehi. You can't go ahead and serve a Tanagolas with its feathers to a guest. You have to clean it first. So therefore, Tanagolas min etzaisa is not called the chaticha roy l'skabed. And if one Tanagolas got mixed up with the other ones, and one's a treifa, they're all mutter. The bottle b'roid. Even if afterwards you prepare it, you took off the feathers, and now you made royal eschabed, doesn't make a difference. Once it was bottle, it stays bottle. Why?
Does the definition of a chaticha or eschabed change depending on
times?
Yeah,
we'll see soon. It does. We'll see soon. There's all the halachas we're going to see. The shachat say everything depends on its time. But the klolim you have here. The certain klal you take out of it. For example, this is the klal.
Right.
When it got mixed up, it was in the royal eschabed, and then afterwards it becomes royal eschabed, it still stays bottled. The Shach speaks out Siv Kanches. Apish Lachas es Avar Sira Reitz Mekamokim Kimin the B'tchilas Hataruvis. This bottle ein chayzer veneer. There's no chayzer veneer. The Shach is very good. So the Shach holds by Yavish b'Yavish. Min b'mina, there's never chayzer veneer. We had last week.
Right.
The Ramah says there is chayzer veneer.
Everything.
Even yavish b'yavish. So why over here is there no chayzer veneer? Right? It should be kasha on the Ramah. The answer is that the Ramah will agree that only when more Isser comes in do I say chayzer veneer. But if the same old Isser is there, it changes, then you're not going to say chayzer veneer. So you have to know why. According to the Shach, it's very pashut. Yavish b'yavish. You don't say chayzer veneer. According to the more, you have to make a chiluk what type of chayzer veneer. If more Isser came in, chayzer veneer. If it's the same Isser that changed, then you don't say chayzer veneer. If it's cooked, because if it's raw, you can't serve it. You can't serve it that we have to cut up into pieces. You can't serve that to an Eirich. And some people that argue all this, and they hold no. Even though right now the way it is, it's not royal eschabed, but since when you prepare it, it becomes royal eschabed, now already it's called royal eschabed. If you look in the Taz, Sif Cotton Hay, the royal eschabed lavsha ata roi. Lafate roi kumaisha ata. Elamashem shir nokat the God of Kihai sheroi little lefnei oirech achar shenes bashel is called a chaticha royal eschabed. So
they would also argue on the chicken with the
yeah, they argue everything. So yesh chalkim cholzer everything. A chicken with feathers also doesn't make a difference as long as you could serve this once it's prepared. You could serve this archim. Right now it's called chaticha royal eschabed. Chen Hagim says the Ramah levad tanagolas ben tzaysa. So the Ramah says we like everything like the yesh chalkim that everything is considered royal eschabed besides tanagolas ben tzaysa. Why? The mechuseres ma'aser gadol. The Hagim bar shehibetela. So the Ramah has another chiluk. The Mechaber says two shittas that it has to be ready. First sheet it has to be ready for archim. The second sheet is no, as long as eventually be ready for archim is good. And the Ramah says anything that's a ma'aser gadol, it takes a lot to prepare. That already is not called chaticha royal eschabed now.
So cooking is not.
It's not called right. Not called the ma'aser gadol.
Or cutting it up.
Okay, so what is called the ma'aser gadol?
Pulling out the feathers of a chicken.
That's
called a Ma'aser Gadol.
That's anything that's called a Ma'aser Gadol.
That's what he says, yeah.
But pulling out the last few feathers of the chicken, probably that wouldn't be a Ma'aser Gadol.
Right, maybe.
Completely
I don't know if you would say that. Depends. Maybe you're not Michel. You said chicken with feathers is a chticha that's not recycled right in the Shabbat.
So that could be a big mate. Cool. Let's say if you had a national shaila and there were a few feathers left, you could maybe use that and say, well, it's not right.
It's not right Shabbat. Yeah.
We see it all.
So in the
Ever since we got market chickens, we see it all the time.
No. So now you have to know. You have to know when you get in your house, you get chickens that are officially cleaned.
Yeah.
But you have to pull off some of the fat, some of the feathers. I don't know if that's called.
And does the Mechaber agree with the Ramah regarding Ma'aser?
No.
Because he would say a big keves.
Yes,
I'm saying that the keves gadol is still a Ma'aser gadol according to the Mechaber.
He doesn't make a chiluk.
No, the Mechaber doesn't make a chiluk the Ma'aser gadol. The Mechaber says, well, first shita is it's always tikkun any royal skabit.
So it has to be ready. Be careful whether it's
totally ready. And the second sheet is it's never called any royal chabad. I mean it's always called royal chabad. The Ramah makes a chiluk a Ma'aser Gadol.
Okay.
I
saw brought down one of the Harav said today they do by machine take out the feathers, so it's called the royal chabad, even with the feathers. This you have to
So when the Taz writes, he said that if you the Nashim Chashuvim.
Yeah.
He's going more like the Mechaber.
No, everyone agrees it has to be royal and chashuvim. The question is,
you don't serve with a full cow.
You're right, but I could make that for other chashuvim. You cut up into pieces. Now it's royal. Now it's for other chashuvim. Okay. That's the shaila. If right now I can't serve it, but I could do something easily and serve it, and I do it, you usually cut this up and you serve it to people. That's called royal chabad.
So the Mechaber, this is a stam v'yesh, and usually we say stam, but here we say yesh, right? The Mechaber's is...
Yeah. Here in this case, the Mechaber in a few places, they're being riots, like the Chayim being riots over here, that the Mechaber in a few places goes with the v'yesh.
And this is one of them.
No, I'm saying they're being riots that the Mechaber in a few places speaks about chatichas, a royal chabad, even though it needs something to be done to it.
So
and it's still called right. You see the Mechaber over here passes like the v'yesh. They're being riots. I forgot what the riots are. The Chayim being riots that the Mechaber in other places speaks about a chaticha or whatever it is, and it still needs preparation, and still it calls a chaticha royal chabad. It's not bottom. So you see in other places that the Mechaber passes like the v'yesh in this seif.
How do you see from here though that he passes the remote?
No, we don't see from here.
Oh, you don't.
You don't see from here.
Okay. So why did you say that?
It's in the sheets.
Let's just bring it down. Yeah.
Sheets.
Geen hagel raad hebben gehad met steeds gezegd mensen God de hagel bij shehib telo. Geen reglaim a roish le nachnu misaram. The reglaim or the roish that here wasn't sins from it. That's called Eino royal chabad. Aval im farnachnu chashivi chaticha royal chabad. This is the Ramah shita. That if you have to take off the feathers over here, it's not called royal chabad. Even the afula and nimluchu adayin, even though it wasn't salted yet, it's still called royal chabad. Afula keves shalem ain't a bottle. Even a full keves that's clean is not bottle. Mira glayim shalaifos, the feet of the chickens, levad raglei aves, besides the feet of the avazim of the geese. The feet of animals is not chashiv, and it's bottled besides the feet of geese and behemadakas that had a chashivas in those days. Reish shaloifos ain't a chashiv a bottle. The head of a chicken is not chashiv and it's bottled.
So is there any time where there's a Ma'aser Gadol apart from pulling out feathers, according to the Ramah? Meaning if I haven't done Melicha yet from the keves, I just done the chicken.
No, the Melicha is not called the Ma'aser Gadol.
So it's not called
only the feathers. Only the feathers.
Feathers in the hair, we said.
Feathers in the hair, yeah. Feathers in the hair. That's the only thing that's called the Ma'aser Gadol.
Okay.
What about trapering it?
Hair is a feather.
What about?
Trapering it? Taking up the
Giron Giron is not bottle anyway, isn't it?
No, the Giron No, we're talking about.
That's why we.
What's
That's the right. The reason we don't eat the whole thing today is because it's a tirchiyas area, no?
Yeah, no. But what's the question? What's the shaila? A piece of thigh got mixed up with something else, and they give the nashas inside. Anyway, it's also.
Anyway, it's also right.
Give the nashas the barrier.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Well, that's going to say that part of the give the nashas is still inside. Yeah, maybe there will be a tircha.
Yeah, maybe part of it. Yeah, part of it.
Maybe part of the Gidanash, you know they took that part of the Gidanash, the rest of it is inside.
And then you stopped, so you got tired.
Yeah.
No, you have 1 year with the Gidanash inside and
No, Gidanash is inside, Zichanah bottle, because it's Gidanash is a barrier.
Barrier. If it's full Gidanash,
Gidanash is a barrier, it's not bottle.
If it's a little bit of it left over there, then.
But if you start doing it, yeah, it's called a tircha. Yeah, Nicker is a big tircha. Okay, Siv Dalit. Shuman Akanta, any royal is Chabid. The fats of the Kanta, the cold, any royal is Chabid. Aval Or Shuman Aves, Mikri royal is Chabid, Vaina bottle. The Or, the skin of a Shuman Aves, a fat geese, Mikri royal is Chabid, Vaina bottle, because that you serve two Orchim. And the Shach speaks out of a Shuman Akanta. Piskei Tosis in the Dorim Simon Pei Mitzvah because of the Zohar Sofim had the Kanto Im Shamla Shemer Roy Yechiel L'Schava that comes right over near the Hakol Fi as Man HaMokim. Everything depends what's called Roy L'Schava in that time. Now the Aval Or Shumin, the task speaks out of an important task. This is a heter Sham Begilya maybe the Nechtach HaOy Shel Avos the Ritzuis Bottle Chashivusai. It becomes bottle. You take the Or Avos and you cut it up into pieces. It's bottle chashivusai and it's not called chticha royal skaba anymore. The Tamar Rishal Sham Kibin Shem Nechtecha Ein Chashuva Me'ezet Tzad Hei Chashuva. When is it chashuv? B'shnei Musa, it can't be because you don't serve it full. The only way you serve the Shuman Avos is cut up into pieces. So if the Shuman Avos is davar chticha royal skaba, it can't be when it's whole because whole you don't serve it that way. You have to cut it up. Now the Mashal when you cut it up, but the Mashal, the Isam Heta says that when you cut it up, it's bottle. Therefore, the Iker Kibud Ba'or Avos Achas Shachayt Chanois. So the Chatichas and Tagna and any Royce and Mechabim and Chamachim Oitzin the Chatichas Hamat Uganais. They are not Chashuvim. You see, the Mashal says that okay, the only time you serve the Avos is cut up. Therefore, Vada have a chaticha royal d'skabit, afilo benechtecha. V'nira b'shem hachil lehevi yimah b'shulchan aruch. V'dak l'marsh chilik zeh. So sorry, I mixed up the mashal and the taz. The mashal says that it's never called a chaticha royal d'skabit. Not when it's whole, and not when it's cut up. Because when it's cut up, the Isam Heta says that it's not called chticha royal skabit. When it's whole, you don't serve it that way. The Taz says no. The Taz says that sai when it's whole and sai when it's cut up is called chticha royal skabit. Why? Because you only serve it cut up. You never serve it whole. So when the Ramah says Or Shuman Avos is called royal skabit, it must mean when? Cut up or even whole. Doesn't make a difference. Both of them. He says the Ramah doesn't bring this chilik whether it's whole or whether it's cut up. Right? So that's what the Taz says. Whether it's whole or whether it's cut up. Why? Because it's always considered chaticha royal d'skabit. Even though the Taz brings this chilik, lav ikahu. So the Taz comes out that something that when it's whole you can't serve it. But you cut it up and you serve it, that's called a chaticha royal d'skabit. Sai when it's whole, and sai when it's cut up.
So that's a chicken?
What do you mean?
Whole chicken, you say.
A whole chicken.
Whole chicken.
You have to come up to that. Even a bottom is called a chaticha royal d'skabit. You have to come up to the whole chicken. We're talking about a thing that you won't serve when you cut it up. You serve 5 pieces together. Right? You're not going to say chaticha royal d'skabit, the rice is chaticha royal d'skabit because you serve a certain amount of rice to people. It's a bunch of pieces together. Here's a special case where I take something and I cut it up and I serve that one thing cut up.
But you wouldn't serve one piece alone.
You wouldn't serve one piece alone.
The only example we gave last time was sushi. No,
Right.
It's a roll.
Right.
You're not going to serve one piece.
Right.
You never serve the whole roll.
And you don't serve.
You have the whole roll, and you also have one piece. So maybe that's called a chaticha royal discovered. A roll of sushi is the same thing as this.
Even though it's cut out.
Even though it's cut up. Why? Because when you serve it, what do you serve? You won't serve, let's say you cut up a roll into 5 pieces. You won't serve someone 7 pieces. You serve 5 pieces at a time. It's a roll of sushi that was cut up.
The other example we call, I don't know it, but it's grievin.
Grievin, yeah, this is grievin.
Right.
This is the case of grievin. Grievin is something you take. Let's say a herring, right? Let's say a herring, right? Herring is a certain size. If you serve a person always a herring cut up, so it's their herring cut up. But we don't do it that way. The we serve herring only cut up, and it could be 8 pieces, 7 pieces, 4 pieces, it makes no difference. But that thing was something you serve, a or of the aviz cut up. So therefore, says the Taz, that whole thing is called chaticha royal discovered. Whether it's cut up, whether it's whole, doesn't make a difference. That's called chaticha royal discovered.
Even one piece of the cut up thing is called chaticha royal discovered.
No, all the pieces together.
All this together, right?
All the pieces together, yeah.
In the case of sushi, like one piece of sushi is...
No, one piece is royal discovered.
The whole roll together is...
It's considered a royal discovered.
Even though
it's cut up. Even though it's cut up, right. Correct.
How is this different than Mechaber and Gimel?
What do you mean?
Kever Shalom and Chatifa Gdola.
No, because the Kever Shalom, you never serve a Kever Shalom to somebody, the whole Kever. You only serve to him a piece of it. Here you serve the whole thing. But the way you serve it is cut up. That's the Masach.
How do you serve it to the individual? Not how you bring it to the table. Like
no, always individual.
Always individual.
Always individual. Not the way you bring it to the table. The way you serve one portion to a person.
You can bring a turkey to the table and then cut it up on the table.
No, that's not the way it goes. It means when you serve it to a person.
Right. So
when you serve it to one person, you never serve a person the whole turkey.
That's the definition.
Right.
Yeah. The definition is chaticha royal discovered from the earth. You give to one person. That's what you give him.
So then, by that case, why is it keves shalem? You never serve one person a covet.
Right. So the reason, that's a shaila, because I cut it up and I give a piece of that. It's chaticha royal discovered.
I agree. So when you cut up pieces, yes, but then
that's a shaila. That's a shaila because now I do cut it up and serve it to archa. So that's the mechaber. The two shits is the mechaber. Since you make out of it chaticha royal discovered, it's called royal discovered.
Like the Ramah says, we're not trying for everything except for right, but
right. The reason is because in that...
It doesn't follow with Sif Dalet. It doesn't know the law.
No, Sif Dalet is something else. Sif Gimel is when you have a full keves. Now, in there are chatichas royal discovered. A bunch of chatichas royal discovered together. Is that called chaticha royal discovered? No. It has to be already in its form of chaticha royal discovered. Sif Dalet is, each piece in itself is not royal discovered. You can't serve one piece of grievin. Altogether it is. It's a whole different case. So this arav, what I have here is, this arav is a chaticha royal discovered in itself. I may have to cut it up before I serve it. But in itself is a royal discovered. But the kever shalom is not a royal discovered, it's too big. A piece of it is royal discovered. It's a big difference. Sif Gimel, I have 10 pieces royal discovered, all together one big thing. In Sif Dalet, I have one piece of royal discovered, I serve it, cut up. That's the feeling. Okay, Sipei, Kurkabin, V'chein Chabin im Ayim Eni Royal Eschabin. Kurkabin is the stomach, the gizzards of the chicken. V'chein Chabin im Ayim Eni Royal Eschabin, not called Royal Eschabin. I'm not going to go through Shach and Taz over here. They both go through a different mechanism. Where it was Royal Eschabin, where it wasn't Royal Eschabin. Basically, they both come out. It depends each place if it's considered Royal Eschabin or not. Sivav, other by Chaticha royal discovered the botli, Dafka Boydem Shlaim only while the whole. Avlam Nechtechu, by the Svasku, Achenevda Tsurasam, botli, the Sulach Hashivi. So even though originally it wasn't bottle, if afterwards it got cut off by mistake, it becomes bottle. Hafil Misvasku, the Achashin is Arba Mehetir, it still becomes bottle. Hafil the Achashin Noit HaTarovis, even after you knew the Tarovis. That means it became awesome. Beforehand,
if I mince it up, it was minced up. So it's shinu tzuratan.
Yeah, minced up before or after? After it got mixed up.
I'll have to go with some.
So you're not allowed to go into no. You're not allowed to go do that.
Right.
That's vatal lechatchila.
For sure.
If it happened, then it's mutter. Fusha is masu shleim v'schaven levatal iser. Aval v'schaven lekach osel lemerasek if hushaloi v'chem lo'ishasasek b'shviloi. That goes back to the same halachas of vatal lechatchila. And vatal lechatchila, if you did, it's also a person who was done for him, and also if it's yours, also to you.
If you have something that was usher al beria, and the whole time of this is now usher, and that got cut,
also it's mutter.
Beria got cut.
Also it's mutter.
It's still a chaticha roiles chabit.
Oh, then it's usher. It's still a chaticha roiles chabit. It's usher.
It will remain in its issue.
Yeah, it remains in its issue. Look in the Shachsiv context of Aris Vasku. Concept of Chatas Klam Mem Seif the Maskal Mashma is at Aruch. This is better. How the bottle of Sasma is Nisha Sham Dover Choshev. Aval Nisha Chaticha roiles chabit. Afa gav the bottom mitam beria. Become Akoim Adayin Choshev ve'ein the bottom mitam Chaticha roiles chabit. As long as it stays a chaticha roiles chabit, it's not bottom. Says the Ramah, "Ein chilik ben is'ar b'minam or shlei b'minam." There's no difference whether it's is'ar b'minam or shlei b'minam. It's always mutter. It's always aser. Chaticha roiles chabit is aser savis min b'minai, savis min b'she'ein minai. And the Taz speaks out over here, which I'm going to leave for Yesh Matirim, that by Yesh Matirim we're mechalik between min b'minai and min b'she'ein minai, and we'll see why soon. There is a shiti that brings down over here. If you look in the Taz, Sikon Yud Beis, Pish v'inyan davar shosam atirim, sivin kobeis, omrinan, v'eina minai, afilu b'davar shosam atirim, bottle. Eina minai is bottle, even yesh lamatirim. Chosam b'isra v'heter, klal chavheid, taf kuvov, or din kuvov, v'inyan shad dvorim, she'em is bottle v'goyen beria, v'chaticha, or eschabit, t'zveike mutir, the mis'aru v'eina minam, d'loi mahanechet sh'v'saya bottle, and v'choylech olav v'ramah. There's no reason, we'll see the reasoning we have by Yesh Lamatirim why Min Be'ein Minai is bottle, even though it's Yesh Lamatirim, that reasoning will not apply to anything else. Therefore says the Ramah, Min Be'minai, Min Be'ein Minai, Chaticha Roiles Chabit is always not bottle. Siv Zayin, Nechta Chaticha Echad Toilen Loimer Shal Issa Nechtach, if one piece gets cut up, Ein Toilen Loimer Shal Issa Nechtach, we have 10 pieces here. And one of us chaticha roiles chabit, we don't know which one that is. One piece got cut up. We don't say the issa got cut up, and now it's bottom. Now if the issa gets cut up, so it becomes ois chaticha roiles chabit. So now it should become bottom. We don't say that. The one that got cut up, it is mutter b'manavshach. Michel is av kula mutaris. If it's shalisir, all the mutter. If it ain't shalisir. If it's not shalisir, harei mutarais. So that's a monavshach. If it's the isser, then it's bottle. If it's not the isser, then it's mutter. Therefore, it's always mutter. Hafil nachtechu ruban, even if roiv got cut up, ain't toilet lemisha isser meha roiv shenachtechu. We don't say that the isser is in the roiv that became cut up, and the kol ha-mechtachas mutarais, v'ashleimais, asurais, and the full ones stay aser. So anytime you have a chaticha roiles chabit got mixed up, one piece got cut up, that piece is mutter, the rest stay aser. No matter how many pieces get cut up, they always stay, the ones that are whole stay aser, and the cut ones stay mutter. Sivchetz, korkibin shenimtzu nokov, you have a korkibin that has a hole in it, but it's arv oiset hanagoyas and macheres. We shechted a bunch of chickens, and we found one korkibin with a hole in it. So we know one of the chickens are treifas. There's a treifa. You got mixed up in the rest of them, so now all of them should become also chaticha roiles chabit.
This is contrary to what we learn later on, right? Because if you have something that it's nishlach layam.
What's contrary? Siv Zayin?
Yeah.
Okay. Chol Pashon Rupa, you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to get into that. Okay. But once you mention it, we look in the Taz. Siv Kan Yedal. Ein Tal Leimar. What do you have over here? You have 10 pieces. 6 of them got cut up. So toilet b'roiv. The isser is in the roiv now. We say the isser is to be in the roiv. Everything you go about the roiv. Where's the isser? It's probably in the roiv. Afgaat we call duchte tellen beroiv hier de hoge ikkel mem en adraba. Kol shen shtana mikat musai min a roifu. Whatever changed is from the roiv. So what do I have here? I have one piece that's separated. That piece, what is it? It's from the roiv, and the roiv is heter. So every piece that comes out, I say it's from the roiv, and it is heter. So we don't say the isser is in the roiv. And look at each piece that got cut up, it came from the roiv, and the roiv is heter. So it's the opposite. How can I call the portion rubak a parish? For nimtisha isser shehu amued loy nishtana for hofish b'chad musar. It didn't change from the original thing. So even though a lot of times they say you go basar called the portion rubak parish, here we're going to say the roiv wasn't the one, the isser wasn't the one that was parish. We always say the heter is the one that was parish. Sivchas, korkebin shenimtze lachav and it's ava oisa tanagolas and macheres. If a korkebin that has a hole in it, now it's a treifa, and that tanagolas got mixed up with other tanagolas in. Medamin shumin sheb a korkebin the shumin tanagolas. The fats around the korkebin you medam it, you compare it to the fats in tanagolas. So mokam chibur a korkebin. V'im doimim legami machshir nacheres. It's called makifim. It's called you match it up. If it matches, if one of the cooker match up with the fat of the chicken, then we say that's the one that's a treifa and the rest are kosher. Reish keves and imtza treifa. You find the head of a keves that became a treifa. For the noida me'ezer keves, we know from which one it is. Ezer keves who? Ve'kifoi haroish v'tzavora shel echem ve'achvasim. You put it next to one of the heads of the kvasim. V'nimtzu achaticha is doimais u'mechavana is yafa. Yes, this is Hazzarah Hazzarah. So you can say on that in matter b'acheret, it's enough to be matter.
So do you have to match all of them, or the first one that matches and you don't?
No, you have to take the isser one. The one that's usser, you match it up with one.
And if I find one that matches with, I'll stop. Okay.
Hey, what if you go to the next one and matches 5? What do you do? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't know.
You take the first one and you say, the full one I did not see.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. You don't know if you check one and it matches well, you have to go maybe it matches another one also. Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Okay, Semicha base. Din davar shesh lamatirim. Davar shesh lamatirim. Says the Mechaber. Called davar shesh lamatirim. We're going beis and all to be yomtiv. An egg that was born on yomtiv, which is mutter ach yomtiv sharui lemachar in misav b'acheres ben shleimus ben shrufa. Can mix it with something else, whether the egg is whole, whether the egg is a taruf, it's a scrambled egg. Eina b'teila filu b'elef. Because here you don't need to draw the schabit. Here it's davar chashuv. Just the fact that it is a yesh lamatirim, it makes it aser. It's not bottom. Pafilu safek im nol to be yomtiv. It's a safek if it was born in yomtiv. But it's arva b'acheres asurais. Why? Because yesh lamatirim. If it's arva b'she'ena mina b'teila b'samach. If it's arva b'eina mina, then already it's bottom b'samach. Now we'll see why. B'eina mina we don't say direch ticher right the skabbos. The Shach and Sivkon Aleph says. No, I didn't mean that one.
Gimel.
Gimel, yeah, a full suffix. The dove is a chomer dove sheshem betirim b'shar dvorim. Sheina b'teilim. The sham mutter b'sveikan and mavada iser hu d'rabanan. If it's a vada iser, this is d'rabanan. If the suffix iser, then we say amina b'suffix shel the mutter. The whole suffix d'rabanan. So yazak lo imu davar choshev. Avakar afulu b'suffix iser d'rabanan aser kibbutz yesh lamatirim. Once it's yesh lamatirim, it's aser. Even if it's a suffix d'rabanan, still it's aser. Here we're machmir. Now, what's the reason why Eine Minoi is no Yesh Lamatirim? So, if you look in the Shach, Sivkot and Dalit, which Eine Minoi B'Teila B'Samach, Alpha Gavtel Eine Berach Ticher Rada Skabit, Eine Chilik Ben Es Arba Mina, or Shleba Mina, Chud Lelsam and Kaval Ziva Baga, Shani Hacha, the Ein HaChashivas, let's see if we can figure this out, the Ein HaChashivas Mitzad Iset Atzmoi, Elam Acha Sheyele Hetet Achakach. Therefore, the Rotzu Chachamim is battle. Chachamim don't want bittul to work. B'chol is arav shleimi minoi ein hahete nikra ala davar ha'aser. Ela al shem davar shenes arav boy v'hava kimi she'ein loy matirim. The Shach says, which is really from the it's hete brings down the svar, I think. Toras Chatzim and Svara, is that by Davar Chashuv, it has to be Davar Chashuv in itself. If it's a Davar Chashuv in itself, let's make this. It's not bottom. Yeshla Matirim, says the Shach, says the Toras Chatzim, what's the reason why it's mutter? It's also, it's not bottle? Because it will have a heter originally. Have Issa here, and it'll have a heter eventually. Right? Masha Enkain, if it's Mimish Eine Minoi, I don't see Issa here. You don't see Issa over here. But Mimish Eine Minoi.
You mean that there's no Davar Chashuv here? Because you
No,
can't see it?
not Davar Chashuv. Because we don't care about Chashuv by Yeshla Matirim.
Okay.
Because Min B'Minoi, right? By Min B'Minoi. Also, it's not Davar Chashuv.
Okay.
So it's not because it's not Davar Chashuv. Because right now I don't see Issa. What do I see here? I see here it's Nikra al Shem Maheter. You have Chelev mixed into chicken soup, let's say, right? What do you see here? I see here chicken soup. I don't see Issa. I don't see Issa. You don't see Chelev here, B'chlal. If you have Chelev mixed into Chelev, so what do you have here? You have a Chelev. Chelev Issa, Chelev the Heter. Masha'enkin, if you have Chelev mixed into something else in the chicken soup, so what do you have here? You have chicken soup. You don't have Issa. The time is bottled, Shishim already. What do you want to say? Wait for the Issa to become mutter. I don't see Issa here. I don't see any Issa. All I see here is Heter. Chatichiroi, this Kabin, and everything else, Beria, you always have Issa. Because it's a Davar Chashuv. You always have the Issa. But Yeshla Matirim, where it's not a Davar Chashuv, you don't see Issa B'chlal. That's why it's mutter. That's the svar they give. You want to wait for the Issa to become Heter. There's no Issa here. It's Nikra al Shem Heter. All I see here now is chicken soup. I don't see any Chelev.
Only by Mimim.
But Mimimina, you see Chelev.
But you can't, you're talking about Chelev, we're talking about Davar Matin. You can't have...
Okay, so Abayu.
Okay.
An egg. You have an egg. An egg that's mixed up.
Yeah.
It's trufa. So what do you have here?
Eggs get mixed up into
other eggs. I see here eggs. I don't see here any. Mimish any minute has to be enough, right?
Yeah, right.
Mimish any minute. An egg
Mixed into flour.
Mixed into flour, let's say, right? Something else. So it's bottom of shishim, obviously.
Yeah, right.
What do you see over here?
You see flour.
You see flour. You don't see an egg with flour. So davar also you don't see here b'chlal. It's called al shem haheter. Therefore, we don't say you have to wait till the issa becomes
mutter.
mutter.
That because it's going to become heter. That's why this is a special case.
No,
it's going to be heter eventually. So that's why we do this.
No, not because.
That's the opposite.
No, when you have a mibish and mina mixed, right?
In any video.
Any mibish and mina, even if it's any material, any material makes a difference. It's still nikra shem heter. This thing is called the heter. You don't see the isser here b'chlal.
But this would be totally in the machlekes between the Rashi and the Rav.
No, it wouldn't. This is the svara in Rashi.
This is a svara in Rashi.
In Rashi. Well, see, the Taz says that if the reason is because...
In other words, it doesn't work with the Ran.
The Ran svara is, we'll see in a second, the Ran svara is that if it's a min b'she'en minoi, right, this is called min b'minoi, because eventually it's become heter. The Ran calls it a min b'minoi because it eventually will become heter. Right?
Min because eventually will become.
Even if it's min.
We'll see in a second. We'll see the Ran in a second. Let's leave the Ran aside for a second. This svara, look at the Taz. Sifkan Hey. Hatam Ksaf L'Asam Kabal Sivov Shav Tazchatas Vish Ein Heter Achak Nikra Al Isser Ela Al Taroivich Shenesar Hu Ein Leminoi Shal Isser Ve'ein Tam Zeh Maspek Al Kach. Just like this reason. Right? It's called on the Sheva Heter, not the Sheva Isser. That's why we say by Yeshla Matirim, if it's Mimish Ein Leminoi, it's bottom. Then it brings down the Ran. That's what he says from the Ran. I'm going to skip the first part. If you go like halfway through the Taz, as much as Enkim Isser V'Heter. See it?
Third line. On the second page.
See it also? The last word line is Min Echad.
Third line on the second page. On Nun.
The last word line is Min Echad.
Min Echad,
First word.
Enkim Isser V'Heter. Abi Sheheim Min Echad. Chamochem Chalukim Heim. Shezeh also V'Zeh Mutter. The Ran holds Isser V'Heter, even though it's Min Echad, it's Min B'minoi, Still, why is min b'minai not batal? Because it is chalukahem shezeh asa v'zeh muter. I can't have it like eine minai. It's always called like eine minai. Isser v'heter is always, even though it's min b'minai, it's considered like eine minai because the isser and heter is eine minais. In the dinim, it's not minai. Moshem hachi amina b'yeshna matirim have a dumit dam par v'sar to ein kan chilik ben isser leheter. There's no difference between isser v'heter. Sharei gam ha-isser seifai liyos muter. Even the isser is end up becoming muter. V'zeh min b'minoi. That's called min b'minoi. Kahid dam par v'sar. Masha ein kan b'min b'eine minoi. Af al-pi shemitzad isser yesh lehem shivui. V'davar shesh lehem atirim. V'chamokim yesh b'neim chilik gadol. V'masha zeh min acher. Akein hem b'telim zeh b'zeh. The Ran says that when do we say things are batal? Min b'shein minoi is batal. Right? Min b'shein minoi is batal. One second. Yeah, min b'shein min is batal. Min b'minoi is not batal. So he says over here, when you have something that is isser v'heter and it's going to stay asa forever, it's going to stay asa forever. So what's the halacha? That's called min b'shein minoi. So it's batal. If it's isser and heter, even though the min b'minois, even though it's the same thing, but since it's isser and heter, that makes it a min b'shein minoi. Right?
How is that like par dam sorry? How does that?
Dam par dam sorry is the same dam.
It's dam. It is dam.
It's both dam. But it's still called min. It's still called over there min b'shein minoi because one is isser and one is heter. Therefore, it's batal. Dam sorry, dam par. We see there is bittul there. Ais min b'minoi. The reason is because it's called min b'shein minoi because one's heter and one's isser. So the same thing over here, but yesh lamatir.
They're both. It's min b'minoi, and then still it holds. It still retains its name.
Dam soyer.
Dam sir and dam par. There's no isser there. They're both. They're right. That's why the Rabbanan argue with Rabbi Yehuda. They say, I agree with you.
Yeah, right. Sorry. There's min b'minoi. There's all min b'minoi, right?
It's min b'minoi.
Right. There's all min b'minoi, right? Even though it's min echad,
that's different.
It's batal. Why is it batal?
So the Rabbanan would agree with Rabbi Yehuda by the case of dam sar and dam apart.
Correct. Right? Correct. So, but isser v'heter, the Ran says the isser v'heter, even though it's min b'minoi, the fact that one's isser and one's heter, that makes it min b'she'ein minoi.
Right.
The isser v'heter makes it min b'she'ein minoi, and therefore it is batal.
Right.
That creates the bittul. That's very good by something that's isser v'heter. But something that is heter v'heter, min b'she'ein minoi for sure is batal. Something that's yesh lamatir, even though it's isser now, the isser v'heter doesn't make it min b'she'ein minoi.
Because it's going to go away.
Because it's going to go away.
It's going to be the same event.
So they're going to be the same. Therefore, it's not batal.
I mean, right now it's isser. The fact that later on it's going to become heter, so we look at it like it's going to.
Right. We don't look at it as right. We don't look
at. That's why you were saying that forever it's going to be like that. It's not going to change its status.
Right. But isser forever we say that it's isser v'heter and it's min b'she'ein minoi and it's batal. But if the isser is going to become heter, so that can't make it to min b'she'ein minoi. Therefore it says min b'minoi, it's not batal. Therefore it says min b'minoi, it's not batal. Masha'ein kein, sometimes a min b'she'ein minoi in itself, yesh lamatir won't play a role. Doesn't make a difference.
It's already min b'she'ein.
It's already min b'she'ein minoi.
In its essence.
Yeah.
Forget about this.
Only about min b'minoi, right? Only about min b'minoi, we have to come on to the din to make a min b'she'ein minoi. If it's yesh lamatir, you don't have that. Masha'ein kein min b'she'ein minoi, it itself is already min b'she'ein minoi. Therefore, it's always batal. There's no difference to material. That's what the Ran says. Okay, good. Says the Ramah, Miu. Im livnei by Michel, by nosna b'kadeiro, the sakan ha'kadeiro, k'gayt shemalu b'tan ha'goydes, eine b'tela. So this is that we say, a davar shesh l'matirim is aser, But Mimish Ein Minoi is, what's the halacha? Mimish Ein Minoi is bottle, but it depends. Im Livna by Michel, then it's not bottle. By Nosna Bikadeo, the Sakan Akadeo, the Chamalu with Hanagots, Ein Betela. Now, why isn't this bottle? What does that have to do with the Davash material? So the Shach says over here, Sivkon Hey, Miyom Livnoi, Kivin de Lechazusa of it, the bottle. So the Shach says, this din of Livnoi by Michel is a whole separate din. Has no shaykhs to Yeshla material. You know why it's not bottle? Because it's Chazusa. Chazusa is like bottle. Chazusa in itself has a chshivah that's not bottle. Oi, Nosna Bikadeo Kadeo Sakein, also it's not bottle. Why not? Hatam, Techosha Noisin Zeh Bezel Sakein Zeh Zeh, Mikri Min Biminoi. This is what it's called Min Biminoi, and therefore it's not bottle because of Yeshla material. So the Shach breaks it up. There's one din Im Livnoi by Michel, it's Chazusa, it's not bottle, it's Chazusa. By Nosna Bikadeo the Sakan Akadera, you put it in the Sakan Akadera, even though it's Min Be'ech Ein Minoi, we give it a din of Min Be'minoi.
So what is that, like a spice?
Like a spice, yeah. The Sakan Hakadeva is not a spice mamish, because spice anyway is not bottle.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
So what is
no, it's not, the Sakan Hakadeva, it doesn't mean stop as they bring something in. This is putting in more, it's not a spice. And
you're adding potatoes to a dish, to a
yeah,
like that.
Sakan Hakadeva, it's more.
Sakan Hakadeva.
Yeah, it's not a spice.
Not a spice.
And it's not. It's
an essential part of the recipe.
Right. Some of the essential part of the recipe, which is Sakan Hakadeva.
It in itself makes the actual thing that you're talking about.
Right. So that.
Without it, it's not it.
Right. So that.
The essential ingredient.
The essential ingredient is called Min B'minoi. That's called Min B'minoi.
All of the individual ingredients of an essential of a group of ingredients that comes.
But it has to be that it's essential, because otherwise nothing is bottled. Potatoes to cholent, for example.
Right. So
there, it's an essential ingredient. Right. The Sakan Sakadera. The Taz argues. The Taz says Sai Chazusa and Sai Nosla B'Kadera, Sakan Akadera are both because of Min B'minoi of Yeshla material. So look at the Taz Miram Livnoi Loizu Avzu Nokat. The Loizu Livnoi by Michel the Over the Chazusa Vitaima, it becomes a Min B'minoi, and Afilu Nosla B'Kadera the Sakan the Min Gamkein Min B'minoi. The Chol Dover Shetzarach Zelazek and Mayim or Melach Be'isa have a Min B'minoi. Anything they needed for the ingredient without it, you can't have it. It's called Min B'minoi, and it's not bottled, it's called Min B'minoi Yeshla material.
How is Livno like that then?
Livno, it's Chazusa, you need it to make the color of the thing.
Even the look of it.
Also it's called Min B'minoi.
Okay, he's including it, it's in the same idea.
Yeah. Okay, Siv Beis. Yes, the chiluk is that, to speak it out, the chiluk is that the Shach holds Chazusa by itself as an issue. And the Taz holds not that way. So but they gave other halachas. Right, the Taz holds only because the Chazusa becomes Yeshla Matirim. Because Min B'minoi. But the Shach holds no, Chazusa by itself is already a problem. Yes, that the matter would come by itself, by a matter beyond the last below hefsid. It's easy to make the matter. Aval davar she'ein biyadoi, ve'ein levada she'yavar hamatir, ein devedid davar she'esh lamatirim, it's not called yesh lamatirim. Lefikach, be'er shel sofek treifa, an egg of a sofek treifa, she'nis arba ba'acherois, ein devedid davar she'esh lamatirim, she'ein hamatir bevadai ve'ein biyadoi. A sofek treifa, if it's a vada treifa, an egg that got mixed up, it's not ein lamatirim. A sofek treifa is just lamatirim. Because it could be, you'll check into it to find out that it's kosher animal. It's not really a treifa. That's not called Yeshla Matirim. Why? Because it's not vada, it's going to happen. It's not biyadai. That's what the Mechaber says. There's a Berheit Tefir Sifkan Hey. We don't have time to speak it out now. But if you have a chance, it's good to look into it. The Berheit says, what's Safek Treifa? Why does it have any shaykhis to be Yeshla Matirim? The Manavshach. Yeshla Matirim means to have an Isser that's going to become mutter eventually. This Safek Treifa It's not an issa that's Mekam Mutter.
True.
Is that issa that's Mekam Mutter? I don't know if it's also. Later on, you find that was Mutter. That's not called Yesh Lamatirim. Yesh Lamatirim is only when you have an issa that became Mutter at the end. It's born on Yom Tif, you can't eat it till after Yom Tif. But something that's a suffix, and I don't know what it is, and later on, B'mavar, the suffix says the Berhetiv, that's not called Yesh Lamatirim. Not a problem, not B'yodai, nothing. It's not called Yesh Lamatirim. Therefore, he says that the case over here is that it's a suffix Shreifa, Chanol de B'yom Tif. Chanol de B'yom Tif. Do you have to wait till after Yom Tif or not?
It's something whether it was born on Yom Tif.
Yeah. No. Suffix Shreifa, that was for sure born on Yom Tif.
Oh, suffix.
A suffix Shreifa. Right, a suffix Shreifa that was sure born on Yom Tif. So now we say that.
Right. So now it does make a difference on the turn.
Yeah. Right.
So he said, that the chiddush is that suffix treifa is bottom now. A suffix treifa should only be Yom Tif. That suffix treifa is mutter right away. If it's mixed with a regular egg that's noel and Yom Tif, you have to wait till after Yom Tif for all the other eggs. Here, there's a suffix, so even after Yom Tif, maybe it's going to stay usher. Therefore, it's mutter right away. That's what the Berhetiv says.
That's how so this for sure makes a difference if you hold like Rashi, like Rashi or the Ran, and we don't know from the Shulchan Aruch how he paskins. So how
what do you mean?
How does the Shulchan Aruch in one place paskins like Rashi, in one place paskins like the Ran?
Who says?
I said, but okay.
Who says?
How does the Machaber? How did he? I mean, in Aleph, it seems like it's.
And say a reason why. What do you see like Rashi and the Ran? I don't know if you see how Machaber passes.
Do we know? So how is the Berhetiv learning this? In other words,
let's work on that. Is it Rashi or the Ran? Fine. The Berhetiv says the case of here is there was a suffix treifos with all the Yom Tif.
That's going to make a difference.
So you wait till after Yom Tif.
Right.
Right. So now you can wait till after Yom Tif.
Right.
And then you still have a suffix treifo.
Right.
Says the Berhetiv that's called ein lematirim. Therefore it's mutter right away. The whole taruv is mutter right away. Now what do you want to say? Depends on Rashi and the Ran. Why?
Because according to Rashi, if you remove the barrier of Dover Sheish Lamatirin at the time, then it will become heter for sure.
For sure.
We don't know that for sure here because it's a suffix. It might actually be the Isser.
Okay, so the Pischei Tshuva brings down a similar shaila. If let's say it's a Yesh Lamatirim Avada Treifa, right? Avada Treifa.
Right. So that would be
they got mixed in with other eggs. There was no Yom Tif. There was no Yom Tif. So now the din Noel Yom Tif will become mutter at night. The treifos won't become mutter at night. They'll have to wait till at night for the bittul to happen.
Right.
That's what look at the Pischei Tshuva.
Right. According to Rashi, you
wouldn't wait.
You
would not wait.
You cannot. You don't have to wait
because anyway,
it's not going to be any better at night.
So look at the Pischei Tshuva. Sivka and Daled. I am a Shuva Samach Tzedek. The base treifa. Avada Treifa should all be Yom Tif. But it's arav. But don't shoyel. Klav dosh material. Even the gam acher Yom Tif lo yehei heter below bittul. V'koyef treifis. Who's al chaylik olav dem kamokaim? Vada sheyavel de heter ksas. Till acher Yom Tif yistalik iser al koilul tayin noilik. V'chol the efshel lemevet beheter of dinar ayin sham. So this could be told in Rashi and the Ran.
Right.
This could be told in Rashi and the Ran. So the Berhetiv goes.
But I'm saying like the Machlokes and the Rishonim, right?
Right.
How does the Machaber come out that we should have a guide for?
So we don't know. I don't know what we see in the Machaber. I don't know if the Machaber holds like Rashi or the Ran. This Shiloh could be told in Rashi and the Ran. So you see for the Tzemach Tzedek how he holds. But the Machaber, I don't know if we see what the Machaber holds. But the Berhetiv who says that you wait till Matzah Yom Tif, it's sad to wait till Matzah Yom Tif. But since the suffix treifa you don't wait, you see from the Berhetiv he holds that if it would be Yesh Lamatirim, he would wait. So you see the Berhetiv holds if it's a Vadai treifa, shall all be Yom Tif, he would hold, you don't wait. The behavior of first, you don't wait. Because it says, Safek Treif is not Kodesh Matirim, right? And therefore, it's mutter right away. What do you mean? Wait till Matzah Yom Tov, till the Is Yom Tov falls off. You see the Bar Hativ held that no, we don't wait till Matzah Yom Tov by a Vadei Shreifa. That's totally in Rashi and the Ran.
So from the Chaber you can see, look, here, in this Arba B'Shein Amino, from the case of She'ein Amino, right?
No, but that's Rashi and the Ran. Rashi is explaining why Ein Amino is different. Rashi agrees that Ein Amino is different. The question is why. And that's what the Shach brought down from Taris Chata as a story we didn't understand fully. It's Nikra Hashem HaHeter. Even in Rashi, is the Chot Ein Amino Ein Amino.
In both you would, then would be.
Yeah, both of the Chot Ein Amino Ein Amino. Okay, I think we have to stop here.